I hope Marathon is good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Canon wants me to pay them $5 a month in order to actually have 1080p on this camera, so yeah, you'll be stuck with this grainy fucking thing. Alright, I'm gonna try and do this one kind of off script, because I tried following the script and that didn't work out, so I'll just do it freeballing it. Fuck it. I didn't really know anything about Marathon before Mandalore Gaming made their videos on the original Doom clone. I knew that it existed, I knew that it was sci-fi, and that is about everything I knew about it. Oh yeah, did you know that their first game was called Gnop? Because I didn't. I found that out while researching things for this video. When they first announced the Marathon remake, I was pretty excited for it, because I like sci-fi and I like shooters, and I knew the Marathon is a big part of Bungie's past, so it looked pretty cool. And then they announced that it was going to be an extraction shooter, and I was not quite as excited anymore, because I definitely prefer a solid single-player experience over a live service title, but what can you do? Fucking almost dropped my phone. And then there were all of the issues with Bungie and Destiny, and that's a topic for another time. But yeah, it didn't look too great, and I honestly thought the game was cancelled for a bit because I hadn't heard or seen anything. And then the like proper release day announcement came, and yeah, they got me. I got excited about it because, wow, I love the aesthetic of this game. It's actually phenomenal. It looks gorgeous. I know it's not for everyone. It's very, very loud and very out there. It's very different. But I love that. I love the overall aesthetic of the game and this sort of hyper-corpo, cyberpunk-y almost kind of vibe. And then again, like I told my buddy Alex here, if there's one thing Bungie is still good at, it is making guns fun to shoot. And yeah, Marathon's guns are very fun to shoot. I like them a lot, actually. So yeah, here's my experience with the Marathon Service Lamp. The first thing we're greeted by is the usual brightness settings, followed by some very nice accessibility options. I always like seeing a live example of subtitle settings, way too many games do not have it. After that we get to choose whether or not to use proximity chat, and then some exposition.
It is a historic day across the solar system.
The enormous UESC Marathon colony ship
sets out for the Tau 30 star system
to establish a new home for humanity, and with it, infinite possibility.
The people of Earth and Mars are watching.
Everyone is watching.
Breaking news, contact has been lost with the Marathon colony ship.
Official messaging from the UESC is that nothing is amiss.
The people just want to know what happened and what is the UESC doing about it.
Still no answers.
Shocking news today.
FDL losing contact with the Marathon colony nearly 100 years ago.
After decades of citizens demanding answers,
A message has been received from the UESC Marathon.
A distress call.
a threat,
An invitation.
but the message has been leaked. It reads,
somewhere in the heavens, they are waiting.
We play as a runner, a person whose brain has been uploaded to Amazon's web services, which then gets linked to a shell. A shell being a seemingly mass-produced robot. This is how you're able to be killed over and over again, something pretty much every other extraction shooter just kind of ignores. We are hired mercenaries, sent to the planet of Tau Ceti 4 in response to a distress signal from the UESC Marathon spaceship. They immediately throw you into a raid with a bit of story and a very good tutorial. No pop-ups pausing the game to tell you how things work every 5 seconds, or massive boxes covering the screen telling you what to do. Just this kind of banner explaining some keybinds and a few markers. The rest is up to you. Let's also take a moment to appreciate the atmosphere of the game. This map, Perimeter, feels rugged, hostile, like you shouldn't be here. And this translates to indoors as well. It can downright feel like you're playing a horror game at times. Taking a quick look at the settings, we have everything you'd normally expect from a game. I can motion sig incredibly easily from my narrow field of view, so seeing the FOV slider going up to 105 is very nice. The game seemed to be running well with the settings it gave me, but I'll lower them just a tad and enable DLSS to make it a little smoother. Once I've figured out my settings, I move on with the tutorial, which explains looting. Search a container for items, in this case some medpacks and shield charges. And here's my first little nitpick. Containers and your inventory are basically lists which can't be organized. By that I mean when you loot an item, the item next to it will then move to take the spot. You can see me multiple times looting an item and then moving my mouse to loot the next one, only to completely miss it. Not a massive issue by any means, I got used to it rather quickly, just an odd decision. So is not being able to put things wherever you want in your inventory. When I play Tarkov or Arena Breakout, I have a system for where I want my ammo, my food, meds and loot, just to make it easier to keep track of. Not the case here. There's a predetermined sorting method and that's just how it is. Item tooltips are incredibly helpful, telling you exactly what an item is used for, be it for upgrades, reputation or just plain money. You can toggle between showing item types and the monetary value of an item too. Get a quick tutorial on the healing items I just looted, and then the cops show up as I attempt to hack into the mainframe.
UESC security forces have been alerted to your activity. Exit the building immediately.
Like the imposter I am, I flee by going down a convenient vent grate, climb up a ladder and find probably the first ever modern day jumping tutorial which doesn't tell you how to jump. Just a little arrow pointing up. This entire tutorial is phenomenally crafted, teaching you so many things by just letting you play the game rather than pausing to bombard you with information. Makes you feel like the developers are confident in both their product's ability to convey information and that you, the player, ain't a dumbass. I make my way into the building and find the corpse of another runner.
Check the remains for weapons and supplies. They don't need them anymore.
The guns were probably the thing I was the most worried about with Marathon. They are all very blocky, almost Lego-like in some cases, and I was afraid that they would all sort of blend together, but they actually do have quite a lot of personality to them. Some definitely look a bit too similar at a glance, but most are distinct enough in their visuals and the way they sound. After inspecting the guns, I recklessly cross a police line and get jumped by a cop.
I've located an active exfiltration point near your location, marking it on your map. Exfil points are the only way to safely move solid matter off-world. That includes you. Scavenge the area for additional assets if you need them. But be careful. Die here, and you'll lose everything.
Alright, so they wanted to extract, but I like the sound of additional assets. This is an extraction shooter after all, and yeah, we'll get to the part where I lose everything later. I scavenged around for some more loot and nearly shit a brick walking through this door. I'm not entirely sure where that noise came from, but I'm assuming it's that cop over there. Best ignore them for now and instead stick to the inside of this building. I make my way further down and wonder if there is a map. So I press M and yep, there it is. This is the first of 2 available maps during the Server Slam, with 2 more being available once the game launches. I wonder if they'll let me explore it freely.
Don't wander too far. This entire region is thick with data corruption. Too deep into the red, and your shell will devour itself.
Ah, figures. Let's make our way to the extraction then. You can ping an extraction point on the map to locate them easier. Extraction points work a little differently compared to most extraction shooters I have experience with. Rather than a typical exit point like a vehicle or a door leading out of the map, extraction points in Marathon are teleporters, which must be activated. There are some enemies nearby, so I decided to try one of the active abilities of the shell I was given. Slight overkill perhaps, but fun. I'll go over the shell abilities in just a moment. Attempting to make my way down to the teleporter, I completely fail a jump and eat shit. At least now I know there's fall damage and roughly how far you can fall without dying. Alright, let's activate this extract point.
Calibrating your destination. I'll see you on the other side.
Run an attempting exfil from perimeter.
But there's an ambush. Turns out there are at least 2 types of extracts, normal and guarded. Normal is, well, normal, and guarded cause enemies to spawn in as you wait for the teleporter to wind up. From what I can tell, everyone shares extraction points, but they're one-time use, so you may have to fight for them. Or share. I don't know what happens if you don't stand inside the circuit when the timer runs out, but I would assume it will just disappear without you, or reset the timer. Now that the run tutorial is done, we can get into the meaty part of the game, starting off with progression. Marathon runs on seasons like every other game these days, with a seasonal leveling system giving you some gear and materials upon level up. Not available during the Server Slam is the ranked progression. There is also a reputation system for the 6 different factions who sell you permanent upgrades, each specializing in different types. The factions are Cyber Acme, who focus mostly on general upgrades like inventory space and increased stamina. New Calori, which is mostly for shields and other defensives. Traxxas provides general weapon upgrades. Maida for tacticals. Arachne does heavy weapon upgrades. And finally Sekiguchi Genetics, or SecGen, who sell class-specific upgrades. You unlock these factions over time by completing contracts, starting off as a runner for Cyber Acme. Each of these factions have their own little introduction cutscene, and a representative who will talk to you as you take on more contracts for them, providing more context to what's going on story-wise. So, shells. Marathon is, in part, a hero shooter, with each shell having an ultimate ability, a tactical ability, and 2 passive traits. First off, the one we played as in the tutorial, the Destroyer is a high damage dealer with an ultimate which automatically shoots rockets towards enemies you are firing at. A shield, an air dash, and faster sprint. Vandal, who is all about movement and being fast, also comes with built-in rocket launcher. She's the only one who can double jump. Recon has temporary wall hacks and a little drone who seek out nearby enemies and explodes. Assassin is your typical stealth class with smoke screens and invisibility. Tri-Edge is the only support, focusing on healing and reviving squadmates. And lastly, Thief, who isn't available during the Server Slam, but appears to focus on looting from afar and even stealing loot from other players. Then there's Rook, who is the Scav equivalent, spawning in with randomized gear and cannot make progress on contracts. Rook can disguise himself as UESC personnel and has a built-in self-heal. Since your body is a robot, you don't have a stamina bar. Instead, you generate heat while sprinting, dashing, double jumping, and so on. Being out in the cold rain or walking through water makes heat build up slower and dissipates faster, with the trade-off of making more noise. Vandal seems to be my style, so I select her and then we can move on to guns. There are many different types of weapons, but only 5 ammo types from what I can tell. Light and heavy ballistic bullets, just your standard bullets. Light energy cells, which have a pretty unique feature of slowly recharging while moving and slightly faster while sprinting. Heavy energy cells cause heat buildup on hit, effectively lowering stamina. And MIPs, which seems to apply to all heavy weapons like shotguns and railgun. There are no magazines, just ammunition, and reloading works the same as most other shooters where bullets aren't wasted if you reload before running out. Except for energy cells. Any unused energy is lost on reload. Looking at equipment, there are a lot of slots here. 2 weapon slots, and you also have a knife, which can't be lost. Weapon mods, which change things like scopes and recoil, and other effects like highlighting enemies while scoped. Then you have a consumable equipment slot for grenades or ammo boxes, probably some other things. A shield, cores for class-specific bonuses, and implants for a variety of both passive and active bonuses. And finally, a backpack. By default you have a 4x4 inventory space, but it can be expanded with backpacks of varying size. Some backpacks also have unique passives. Note the lack of a secure container. Normally you have a secure container where you can put things which won't be lost on death. Not the case here. Everything on your person will be lost. Hopefully that's something they may reconsider. You can see the general stats of your character to the left, which also shows how much of the stats are buffed by equipment. I have a contract to kill some cops. Maybe I should stop calling them that. I have a contract to kill some bots and to scan a radio tower. Sounds easy enough. Marathon has AI enemies of varying toughness, nothing new there, which is what these UESC combat units are referring to. I have prepped a loadout. Let's try our first real run against other players. You can choose to either fill empty squad slots with randoms or to play solo. Squads will always be matchmade with other squads, while solo players will only be matchmade with other solos. Alright, let's have a little look around. You can only have 1 active contract objective at any given time, and you can see it in the top right corner. Loot this hut for a bit, and then we move to where I would assume I can find some bots. Oh hey, some loot! And I'm poisoned and die right there. Okay, no biggie. I'm unsure if this is part of the server slam or the new player experience, but I appear to have an unending supply of gear kits with some basic equipment. Alright, let's just go again. This time I spawn on the western side of the map and spend very little time dilly-dallying. Although, what's this thing making noises? Okay, that's a turret. Good to know what they look like. No problem, let's just explore this building. Aha, found the bots I need to kill. Easy peasy. Even found some valuable loot. Let's see, what is this? Oh fuck, that's a lot of noise.
Prepare for increased hostile action.
Well, note to self, don't hack mysterious boxes. It's fine. I completed half of my contract. At least that progress is kept. Third time's the charm, right? Haha, no. Maybe I should try out a different shell. Recon, perhaps. This is getting ridiculous. Gotta be honest here, I'm beginning to lose faith. This is my 8th attempt, and the last one for tonight as it's getting quite late. My mission is to acquire an ID card and download some data. Surely nothing could go wrong here. I spawn not too far away from the objective location, but there are nests of some kind of spider tick thing covering the building. So I take care of those and try opening the door, but it's bugged. The little interact circle is there, but the prompt won't appear. I can't open the door. Okay, what the hell do I do? Ah, great. I can hear a player running around nearby. Here we go again. Oh shit, I got him. My first player kill. Oh, it's coming back to me. The adrenaline and serotonin concoction I've been craving. Let's see if they had any good loot. Crap, another player approaching. Aha, we're so back. 2 kills. And a potential 3rd on the way. I'm getting a little cocky now. Let's loot this guy and then be on the lookout for that assassin running around. I'm unsure what happens here, but the voice line that's supposed to play when progressing my contract begins to play when that other player progresses his mission.
ID confirmed as Dr. Tobias Latero.
At least I know he's in the building now. Oh, I hear him. Yeah, I'm getting real cocky now. 3 player kills and the good brain juice is flowing. The door is just open now. No clue why I couldn't open it before, but let's not dwell on it. Pick up the ID card, download the data, and the same voice line as before starts playing.
ID confirmed as Dr. Tobias Latero.
I really should just get out of here now. Looks like there are 2 options, but one's guarded, so let's go for the other one. If this is the unguarded extract point, then what the hell does a guarded one look like? Because this one has tons of enemies surrounding it. I managed to activate the teleporter and get out of there just as another player closed in from behind. Finally, now I know what it's like. This is exactly what I've been chasing, unlike what a certain other game provides. Valuable loot that serves no other function than to sell for money gets sold automatically, while equipment stays in your inventory and materials are moved to the vault. The vault is your off-character storage, where you can store all of your items. This storage can be upgraded by ranking up your reputations and buying expansions from them. After a run, you may unlock rewards in the codex menu. These rewards tend to be customizations such as skins for your guns, stickers, backgrounds for your player card, knives, and some of them give a bunch of lore, which is pretty cool. There's no cash shop during the server slam, and there's no indication that there will be one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they started selling skins in the future. There is a currency called Silk, which appears to be for a battle pass. We'll have to wait until release day to see how they're going to handle monetization. Hopefully it will be better than the Eververse in Destiny 2. Overall, I'm very happy with what's being put on display here. I know this is a small portion of the game, but the foundation for something great is definitely there. They've nailed the most important aspects, which is that guns are fun to shoot, looting feels good, and extracting after an intense run feels great. Amazing, really. I still cannot get over just how gorgeous the game is. The general aesthetics of this game is just fantastic. I don't know, there's something about it that just tickles my brain just right. There's something really cool about it. There are definitely things that can be improved on, such as being able to actually organize your inventory and vaults however you'd like, and AI enemies tend to be a bit too bullet spongy, probably balanced around squads, with no real change in place for solo players, which I prefer playing solo, so definitely would like to see them modify those values a little bit. There's also clearly some bugs to work out, such as that fucking door. I actually ran into another bug which prevented me from looting these EB coins, credits, things. I don't really know what they are, honestly. But yeah, those were the only two real bugs that I ran into, actually. Certain guns cover up a little too much of the screen too, I feel. Some of them are like, sure, and the LMG is supposed to be big, it's supposed to be huge, but it covers up a fuck ton of screen real estate. And then there's this pistol, which covers up nearly like a full third of the screen, like especially when you're running, or in particular when you're running, it covers up a little bit too much. So maybe that's something they can work on. But I really don't have any negative critique to give beyond that. Actually, it runs well, it plays well, it feels great, looks great. It's yeah, it's solid. I will remain cautiously optimistic still, because I've been playing Destiny and Destiny 2 since the first game came out, a bit on and off. So I'm aware that they are capable of screwing up a sure thing. They definitely can do that. But yeah, only time will tell on that one. Yeah, until then, like, comment, and survive.